vet from, where they only respect guns. And you ain't got a wreck chase to catch one. Pups get prepped before they fresh off the step run. School 'em on how to pitch and fetch, calling your stepson. Check 2, this the shit the vets do. Outlet to the plug, you the plug that's next to. Bring your friend, your boy can get bent to a boss. I toss the rest to the plug that wet you. Getting your checks in order.
Yo, what it do? This your man Shee, one half of To The Point podcast.
Yeah, you know, Khan present.
And I'm very, very privileged to have our special guest, dear brother and friend, man, Latif.
Oh, man.
Latif, I don't know how to formally introduce him because he wears so many different hats, right?
Right.
So I'm going to start off asking him, right, what do you prefer as a title? To be
right now, you could just say #1 life coach, man.
#1 life coach.
One life coach, right?
Decent.
So we have the #1 life coach, and indeed, he embodies that. You know, it's nothing that made up. As as we're gonna go on, you're gonna see, man.
Real rap.
Latif, how are you today, man?
I'm great, man. I'm excellent. I'm feeling good, feeling great. I feel alive and awake, man.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
Good.
Alhamdulillah, that's good. You always carry the good energy, good spirit. Alhamdulillah, man. I know it benefits a lot of people. So we're gonna start. Where you from? Where you born and raised?
Well, born in North Carolina. Basically came to Philly at the age of 6 months. 30 from Wharton, South Philadelphia. You know, and just grew up in South Philly. I lived all around the city, but mainly grew up in South Philly. Went to schools all over, from moving from my mom's house to my grandma's house, back and forth.
Right.
You know, bred in the P. You know,
Right. Money, right?
Yeah.
In the P.
Yeah.
So 6 months. So you wasn't that saturated with down south.
Not at all. I mean,
Have you ever returned down there?
yeah, I go back down there. You know, my pop was there. I mean, he passed away, but my brothers, my sisters are there too.
Okay.
You know, majority of my father, little size down North Carolina.
Got you. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
Yeah.
So tell me, man, you got an interesting story, man. You was incarcerated before.
Yeah.
For a drama case and stuff, man. And you sort of turned your life around a whole 180.
Yeah.
Elaborate on a little bit of that, man.
Well, basically, growing up in South Philly streets,
right.
you know, but a single parent home, mother, sisters, grandmom. Ideal family. Yeah. You know, just trying to navigate the best way I could, to be a man, you know. And what you perceive as a man is what you see in your environment, you know, the men in your community, the men that come in your home. And for me, as being an introvert, I know what an introvert is. Introvert is a quiet person, just stay to herself. Really not antisocial, but antisocial too. And just think a lot. We just think a lot, you know. And as a kid, I should always think a lot, you know. What life is about, serious things, serious thoughts. I mean, I actually had some deep thoughts, like, that would scare me to death. You know what I mean? Yeah, 7, 8 years old. You know, thoughts that scare me about life in general, about life, about death. You know, why we're here. I'll take it all the way out in space. You know what I mean? I'll go there with it in my imagination. Like, damn, what is all this about?
You want to know?
Yeah, I want to know. I was curious. You know.
Inquiring mind.
Yeah, one of those qualities that we had, innate abilities that Allah bless us with, is curiosity.
Now it's
yeah, exactly. So I was real curious as a young person, observant. Because I ain't talk much, so I watched people. And these kind of skills that innately I had, and then most of the time you harness your skills as a kid, let somebody prevent you from doing that. I mean, they may seem like unruly or out of control, so a lot of times we shut down our kids. I mean, when they really working in their innate abilities. I mean, their natural state. Trying to learn this stuff. And as you know it, as you get older, those things that you did for fun as a kid, being creative, being explorative, becomes your niche in life. Becomes who you really are. I mean, naturally. Yeah, exactly. So that's when you really live it in your purpose as a kid. It's just that it's not developed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So when you get older, I mean, the Prophet sometimes says about, you live with your parents and then they make you, fire worshipers, et cetera, et cetera. But it also, they design the person you become.
Right.
I mean, because your conditions you're surrounded around. Your conditions kind of create your decisions.
So it molded you.
Yeah, it kind of molded you. You know what I mean?
Right.
It shapes you. So a lot of us growing up in this environment, this urban communities, urban environment, we've been conditioned by our conditions.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And as I began growing up, I became conditioned. I became a product of the environment.
Right.
I experienced a lot of some trauma growing up.
Right.
Living with my mom, just the absence of my father's one that you didn't think was a trauma because it's normal. Because a lot of us go to single homes, you know what I mean? That Mel figured out there, and me trying to figure out what I'm doing, what I could do, what I'm not supposed to do. My sister's doing, I can't do that.
Right.
So you got to figure it out on your own.
Interesting that you said the trauma started there.
Yeah, trauma started there. Yeah. So a lot of us don't realize our trauma start with the absence of a parent. Especially when I had my TV show on Comcast, I used to interview different people like this. I mean, and I brought in two girls. One was raised by a father, one who wasn't.
Okay.
And seeing the different perceptions of men that they have,
Right.
And that first love was their father, the one who had him, the one who didn't have him.
Right.
I mean, and you see how they grow out. And they start seeking certain men based on the absence of. You know what I'm saying? Or they look at certain men judged by.
I didn't mean to cut you off, my bad. I didn't mean to cut you off.
All right, go ahead.
Oh, she was saying you wear a lot of hats, and you said something that struck me.
Yeah.
Like, the two girls from two different upbringings.
Yeah.
One with the male, one without the male. And usually what happens is, I know you probably can elaborate more than me. The one with the male usually be a little more stern, a little more serious about life. They don't take on too many abuses like substances and male abuses. They used to be more orientated with schooling and more so serious, not to the point where they don't live life and enjoy life and have fun, but they don't too much do a lot of the dumb stuff.
They're not loose. So
without the male, they used to be the ones. Some, not all, because some persevere and get past that stuff.
It's subjective.
But usually without the male, they run across, in the lack of a better words, some nuts. And they take these guys as men and these nuts ain't developed as men yet. They want some coochie. And they steer them girls the wrong way and they end up being on the poles and this and that and third.
Well, it's both. I mean, it's both dynamics because, you have broken men who also create broken women.
Right.
So those broken women run into broken men. It's like it's the trauma bonding.
Right.
But in most cases, or some cases, you have women who grew up with their fathers. They have a foundation to look forward to. You know what I'm saying? I know what I want in a man. If they have a man that provided for their mother or been or taught them how to be treated as like a woman, so they had that foundation laid. And women who don't have that father figure don't have that foundation laid. You know what I mean?
So picking back up with your upbringing, and you stopped at you didn't have a father.
Yeah, so that's my foundation. Like my foundation, I had to discover that foundation. You know what I'm saying? And his absentee not being there it led me on a journey to really figure it out on my own. Just trying to figure it out and making mistakes along the way because you're gonna make a lot of mistakes not knowing. You know what I'm saying? And just being in the house with my mom, back and forth with my mom and grandma. One day I go move back with my mom. I'm 13 years old now. We're on 15th and Reed. And I hear my mom in the room with her boyfriend. They get into an argument. I mean, long time boyfriend. He's bought me toys and all that, cars and stuff like that too. Good guy in that end, but he drank a little bit, he carried a gun a little bit, in the streets, not really in the streets, but in the streets, and I heard them arguing and fighting, so I went, that's not happening no more here. You know what I'm saying? I'm a bigger boy there. You tussling with me, all tussling with me, oh, you gonna think you're a man now? Come on outside. I said, yeah, I'm coming outside. He said, no, come on outside. And I said, Mom, don't go out there, I want you to go out there, I want you to get hurt, man. He got a gun. I said, Mom, none of that. That's all changing right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm going outside. So I went outside. I was heated. I didn't know I get blackouts when I get angry. You know what I'm saying? So it got to that. My anger is like, I think my mom said my pop and them the same thing. They got that anger issue. You know what I mean? So I had that anger issue. Went outside, ripped me up, threw me against the wall. On the bar on 15th and Reed, Carlisle Street. I mean, pulled a gun out, put it in his face like this, like, yo, don't ever get into a fight with me and your mom, and so. So he said it to me. I'm looking at the barrel like right here in my face, and I'm like, I'm like, next thing you know, I'm angry. I just blank out. I can see him move his mouth. I don't hear nothing. In my mind's like, I'm gonna kill this nigga.
Right. I know.
I'm gonna kill him. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing that came to my mind. I mean, then he let me go. Boom. He let me go. And I went upstairs. And I said, yeah, I said, I'm cool. But not knowing I wasn't cool. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't know I experienced trauma just now. You know what I mean? So after that point, I was no longer afraid of the dark. I was no longer afraid of the streets. I wasn't afraid of nothing.
That made you fearless.
Yeah, it made me fearless. Yeah, ridiculously fearless. You know, so I'll say fearless in a point of stupidity.
Okay.
Yeah, stupid fearless. I mean, because there's a good fear and there's a bad fear and there's a stupid fear. You know, so the stupid fear made me do stupid things.
So at what point did that transition into your
my livelihood?
No. The situation that landed you in jail and.
Well, yeah, there's a number of things.
That was the beginning.
Yeah, that's the beginning.
Right.
Well, there's a number of things that took place over the years. I was 13 years old then. I mean, the homicide happened when I was 19. Right. So over mixing that mentality with the streets, you know what I mean, going and hustling and start making money on the streets, and then the things that come with the streets, the people, the attitude, the jealousy, you know, the fights, you know, the shootouts. And then I think at the time too, my man got killed, Raul. I mean, he used to hang with us all the time. You know, just he get killed, and we didn't know how to process that trauma. I mean, which was trauma. I mean, so we didn't know.
Trauma
building all that building up. We didn't know how to process it, so we just walked around with that. You know what I mean? That energy, that anger, ain't gonna happen to me and nobody else, or my homies. You know, so then all that translates to war and this person on 28th Street and war with this, I mean, 23rd Street and war, I mean, 17th Street. So it was just everywhere you at. Yeah, in a predicament like that. I mean, because we was going to war with a couple people. You know, and then the situation happened in the skating ring. It was just all the magazines blew out of everything. You know what I mean? And, yeah. And then my anger was just like, fuck it. I mean, fuck everything. Yeah.
You know what's the crazy situation?
Yeah.
You a good friend of mine. Mm-hmm. That person is a good friend of mine.
Right. Yeah.
I'm like at the time when it jumped up, I'm like, damn, like that, like, law make all decisions. You know what I mean? But if that can get rewinded back, I would wish that wouldn't have happened that way.
Yeah.
Over aggression on his part, I believe. Me knowing you your same character, you ain't on that type time. Unless it's provoked.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. That was a necessary thing?
No, right now I would say it was unnecessary. I mean, it's our mentalities clash.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And when your mentality clash on the street with somebody who just, the same thing in school. You walk in school, step on somebody's shoes.
Right.
I mean, you bump into somebody by mistake and you look at you, your ego's in the way. Yeah, like, what, you bumped into me? And then at the name, both of y'all in trauma, so, you know, it just spills out that way. I mean.
You know what's crazy? That the fact that we can survive these traumatic things, growing up in these things to the point that we become immune to this stuff.
Yeah, of course.
To a point, right?
Feel it, right?
And then it's not until you really take a step out of it that you see how repugnant it is. The lifestyle and the mindsets that we used to carry and the circumstances that we was dealt. You know what I'm saying? So the way we speaking towards it now from the outside looking in, you get what I'm saying? You're keying into two traumatized young men at the time that led to that situation.
Yeah, exactly.
At the time, that was the furthest thing from you and his mind.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
I mean, but see, when you're dealing with trauma, I mean, you're a hurt individual walking around like a ticking time bomb. So anything can trigger you. Anything can trigger you. That's what happening today. That's what's going on today, even in our society with young people. You know what I'm saying? Or with adults. You know, but I think even with that is the dynamics of all of us, especially us as men growing up with not direct guidance that we need to process our feelings and process our emotions and things of that nature. So we don't know how to act on it. It's like a kid who act unruly, you know what I'm saying, who get tantrums about certain things. And because they don't understand what's going on, you know, in his own life, or why he can't have this, why he can't have that. Right. Same thing with us. Like, I mean, the have and have-nots. I mean, the fears, the anxieties, the anger, the frustrations. I mean, with life, it's like you really want to give up. what I'm saying? And that's why some people lead to like suicide. You know what I mean? But a lot of us really have suicidal ideations, just pushing it out on everybody else, protecting other people. You know what I'm saying? But homicide is direct correlation to suicide in our community.
Wow. So they run like cousins, huh?
Yeah, definitely.
Like cousins.
Yeah.
So the thing is, excuse me, Ken, I'm sorry. The thing is to have a channel to channel that hate, to hurt somebody, even if it's yourself. You ain't feeling yourself.
Right.
That's deep, man.
Yeah, it's self-destruction, basically, right? And it's like a lack of self-love too, as a part of that piece. But at the same time, is all these different thoughts in your mind is like, all right, well, you know, if it's not me, then you. You know what I mean?
So this right? This right? Me and Sheik, we got a joint. Here's what we say. This fits right there. Going deep, right? We put the scuba diving gear on one time. We're gonna dive in deep.
That's right.
Tell us and the people all about. I heard it before. I never heard it in this set. The way this set up. I always heard with some chick you with.
Yeah.
She said, "I'm gonna kick you. You can get out. You can get sidewalk therapy." What you're putting out there is a different kind of sidewalk therapy.
Right. Right.
Let us know. Let the people know. Because we don't gotta get out the house, but we gotta get some treatment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kick the dead ass about
reality is that I've been mentoring for years. I started mentoring in prison.
Right.
I mean, with other inmates and stuff like that. As I began my journey, my personal development journey at 19 years old in Holmesburg. You know, so when I started learning new things about life and about myself, I was like, dang, this is what we all need. You know what I'm saying? So I continued to educate myself more and more. Like, prison became my university. You know what I'm saying, basically. I mean, so I started studying about the human anatomy, about the mindset. You know, I became the imam at 22 years old, so I got really into, you know, Quran and Sunnah, studying that and studying the Prophet, alayhi salam. You know, so all those things in correlation. That's what I was telling she the other day, is like, you know, personal development is what all religious books teach. I mean, the Prophet was the character of the Quran. So what Allah is talking about in the Quran, it's talking about character. It's talking about character development. You know what I'm saying? Muslim, mu'min, muqsin is all character development. So the best of you is what? The most pious of you, because of your character. So when you dig into character, it's the makeup of not the surface person. I was explaining to my class this morning. Not the surface individual. The surface is the surface, right? So the wall, that's the surface of it. The couch is the surface. The grass is the surface. I mean, the flesh is the surface. But what's in the core of it, of our bodies, is 70 trillion cells. Okay. That's at the core. 70 trillion cells in our body. You know what I'm saying? And those 70 trillion cells are 2.5 watts of light, of energy. I mean, so when you tapping into your inner self, you start growing and you start healing in the proper places from coming out of the mud. You know what I'm saying? Start cleaning yourself up. Soul, right? Mind, body, soul, and spirit. I mean, mind, body, spirit, and emotion. I mean, those four aspects man is made of. But we're not nourishing all four of them, then we imbalance. See, when I was in the street, I was 19 years old, when we was out there hustling, selling drugs and all that, before I went to jail. Yeah, I was, you know that Viet commercial used to show all the time? Yeah. Walking sideways like this? Yeah. I felt that way exactly in that moment, in those times. I felt that way. I was off balance. I was lopsided. You know what I'm saying? So only way I began to straighten myself up was with, you know, learning about life. I mean, the purpose of life. You know? Right.
So that journey started, you was incarcerated.
Yeah.
You started to get into yourself, and you had plenty of time to do that. That's what most people, but some people don't.
No, some people don't. I mean,
some people don't tap into themselves at no point in time.
Yeah.
But a person that has some type of moral fiber existing in them, in those trillions of cells, they find the wherewithal to try to correct some things.
Well, I'm telling you this, right? It's like all of us, like we all created in the state of fitra, right?
Right.
So everybody's a good person.
Right.
Everybody's born with a good heart, good mind, good emotions, good feelings. Now, all we're charged to do is manage that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Manage the balance. But like I said, when you grow up in whatever environment, you become a product of your environment. It's learned behavior that you pick up. I mean, so this learned behavior, it kind of mummifies. You know what I'm saying? The traumas that we deal with, the things we see, the things that we held back from, restricted from, it kind of mummifies. So when it's mummifying us in our community, I mean our environment, then all the realness of you is covered up. You know what I'm saying? It's wrapped up. So when it's wrapped up like that, now you're becoming what the environment created you to be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And the only way you could really identify who you truly are, because the biggest crisis that we face is identity crisis.
Wow.
I mean, only way you can identify who you truly are if you start unwrapping that. Those layers, take those layers off. So when you were doing that deep shadow work, you're taking layers off. That's covering up what? It's covering up your gift.
And let me interject this question, right? At what point in life do you think people start to layer up?
Well, they're layering up in all through their life. Some people are born in houses of pain.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? They're born in houses of pain. Some people are born through abuse. They're getting molested at 5, 4 years old. They're getting abandoned. They're getting beat down. They're seeing drugs in their home and stuff like that. Parents on drugs. They're getting not properly taken care of. So that trauma starts early. You know what I'm saying? Not getting no love, not getting no share with you. And you see the production of it.
Starts early, way back. Somebody like 2, 3 years old.
Yeah, exactly.
Saying it's piling
I mean, so it's piling up. So it's layers. I'm dealing with people when I'm coaching them. I mean, I'm listening to what they're saying to me, reading their stories, and I'm seeing how deep they're in this trench. You know what I'm saying? These trenches. And then I got to help unwrap. You know what I'm saying? Help them unwrap. I'm not going to do the unwrapping. I got to help them unwrap. Yeah, get to their core self.
I dig this. I dig this, right, T? How much important do the physical complement that emotional, mental, spiritual part? Do a physical regiment, workout plan? Because I'm saying, because I don't know if I be over the top, but my grandson, I get him on physical. Work out, do a little routine every day, shower box every day. Keep yourself sharp, because you got to walk to school and walk home.
Right.
You never know who you going to run up against. You know what I'm saying? That's when I ain't trying to teach you nothing to hurt nobody.
Right.
It's to not get hurt.
Yeah.
Help me out with that.
Self-preservation. Self-preservation is key. I mean, that's part of our protection plan with our mindset. Right. I mean, it's to protect you from hurt and harm. Right. So I explained to them about fear. Fear is a self-preservation thing. I mean, not the real fear is self-preservation. The false fear is what you create. But the thing with protecting yourself or having that level of confidence that you can protect yourself.
But being fearful of that cliff over there, and you driving and there's a cliff over there. That's a great fear to have. I ain't going past that cliff.
Right.
But being scared, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But being scared because your mom turned the lights out, that might be a good fear too at 5. Yeah. But at 12, it might be a little, I mean, you should have shook that by now.
No, I mean,
basically give us an example of a creative fear.
Creative fear is, for example, something simple. All right. A real fear is this. All right, house is on fire. I mean, so you go into stress mode. I got stress mode. Stress is good. It says a good stress is a bad stress, right? So most people relate to the bad stress, but good stress is good, because good stress allow you to act. I mean, quickly. You know what I'm saying? Think quickly on your feet and your toes. You know what I mean? But then bad stress is when you overstress. You know what I'm saying? When you create fear, that I say, for example, I ain't going outside because they were shooting out there the other day.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But they not shooting out there today. Today's a whole new day.
Right.
Well, I ain't gonna start this business because I'm thinking I'm gonna fail. I don't know how to start a podcast business, man. It's gonna fail. I want to invest my money in that. It might fail.
So
you're creating fear, exactly. Right. So most people, the reason why they have anxiety and panic attacks, because they're creating fear. You know what I'm saying? They're creating the fear in their own minds. It's your own mind. And because, according to science, a lot of us think 70% negative. We have pessimistic thoughts. So anytime we think about something, it's gonna be a negative thought.
Is there a positive thought? Because sometimes I think, right, I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but it's just my thought. I think I fight through them fears, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I mentally make myself, challenge myself.
There you go.
When I think I'm fearful of this.
Yeah.
Not no like you said, the fear of a fire. Not that kind of fear, but fear of going for this new job. I'm challenging myself.
Right, exactly.
Like,
see, that's the see, that kind of fear, it may arise in you too, but the courage to go through it all. I mean, whatever it is, even if it's something that new business. Like, damn, I'm afraid this is gonna happen, but no, I'm just gonna go through it all. So courage, I mean, counteracts that. I mean, and once you get through and you see the process and the growth, you're like, damn, what was I afraid of?
Right.
So now my question tagged on to that is, how do you remedy a person that can't find that courage?
I mean,
see how we say I'm the kind of person. I'm the kind of person. It's some people that's not.
Yeah, some people that's not. And the thing is like building that level of confidence. I mean, and also showing the step by step of what it takes. See, there's two formulas, and unfortunately, we've been taught the wrong formula, the formula of failure. We've been taught the formula of failure, but there's a formula called success too, right? So teaching them the formula of success, I'm saying, it's the key to overcome all those fears. And now you get comfortable being uncomfortable. See, we think we got to be comfortable. You can be comfortable, but there's no growth in comfortability. It's four rings of growth, right? I teach that in one of my classes, the 4 rings of growth. But one of the only main way you grow is through uncomfortability. Now, choosing to be uncomfortable is one thing, but getting pushed to be uncomfortable is another thing. Because most time when you're pushed to be uncomfortable, it's trauma. It's something that happened.
Right.
I mean, that forces you to do. I just lost my job, so now I got to go find something. I got to be creative.
That can have a negative result.
Yeah, it can have a negative result. If you give up and you like, dang, I ain't got nothing. I mean, I got losing this. And you give up on yourself, then that's what it stops. But the thing is when you have that kind of fear and you're like, you know what? All right, it's this plan for me to do something different. I mean, this is lining me up, because what purpose do? Sometimes if you're not aware of your purpose or what your purpose is, and then you get forced into your purpose. Like, God is forcing you into your purpose by different challenges and events. I mean, one of the universal laws, if you understand the word, you're familiar with universal laws, right? Divine laws, right? The universal law is that the universal law of transmutation is that you're going to be challenged. I mean, like a law of kind, you're going to be constantly challenged. What? To see how you level, test and challenge, right? So you're going to be challenged. What? To level up. If it don't challenge you, it's not going to change you.
It's the build.
Yeah, it's the build. Yeah, if it don't challenge you, it's not going to change you. And if you're not challenged, then you can't reach your full potential. See, we're on this earth to reach our full potential.
Exactly.
I'm saying,
keep growing,
just like the tree, just like the bush, just like the dog, just like the lion. Everything in creation lives up to its full potential except for mankind, because we don't know who we are.
So, my fault. Go ahead.
I'll lay with this, right? Me and Shay gonna pick your cap a little bit.
Okay, right.
Right. Philadelphia born and raised. Tell me about Icy.
ICY?
Yeah.
Inner City Youth. Yeah. ICY, man, my first book I wrote, and I'm telling you the reason why I wrote the book. I'm not a reader of books. I don't read books. People say, whenever I travel around the country, it's like, what books you read to get you? I said, I didn't read no books. You know, I say that I understood now, but even back then I didn't understand, like I was saying before the other day, about reflection, right, was one of the number one tools that helped me transform my life. Okay. Right? So not even knowing that this is the number one principle or formula of success, right? So when I started reflecting on my life, I started looking back on my life and saying, damn, when I was a kid, I mean, I was this kind of person. I was this good kid. I wanted to be a ball player. I wanted to be a cop. I wanted to be a boxer. Then as I got older and the trauma happened and it changed my mindset, got into the streets, and then it started not caring about myself, but caring about life. You know, all these things shaped me. So I was like, damn, I can identify with somebody. I can kind of know who I am, but I don't identify with nobody. I don't know who my pop is. I mean, so I know who he is, but I haven't really been around him to really know who he is, because he's down south. You know, so I said, I want to write something that my sons, my son's sons, and my son's son's sons would know their grandfather. I mean, what I went through, what I persevered through, what I struggled through, all these different things like that, so they can know that it's in them. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what's in me because I don't know my history, right? I don't know my grandfather or my father on either side. So I can set them off with knowledge, exactly. So showing them my perseverance, my struggle, streets, prison, you know what I'm saying, bad choices I made, good choices I started making. So I decided to say, all right, I see why, inner city youth. You know what I'm saying? I see why. I'm saying all these things.
See, the jewelers bring you, bring you for I see why.
Yeah, I see why.
Youth,
I mean, and then as I tell the story, I originally wrote the book for my children, my family. But then when I was in the barbershop, now I self-published in there. I learned how to self-publish, all that stuff like that. Everything I learned on my own. I mean, I said, I'm going to push this book out there and publish it. And I was in the barbershop, and people were like, yo, I got this book. Check it out. And they started reading it. Yo, that's joint hot. Let me get another one.
So I see why international, right?
Yeah, definitely. Right? Yeah, it's on Amazon.
So my thing is this here, right? Was that the only motivation for you to author, or was it coupled with some other aspirations? Like, what other than those experiences, what really made, because people have experience and they can vent it any kind of way through music. You do poetry. What gave you that, to get into that clinic?
Right, see, I think I hung in my craft, right? I say it started as young, right?
Right. And especially, you said you're not a reader.
Yeah.
So I'm interested in what intrigued you.
So as I was younger, I mean, going to a bar, graffiti stage. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm a graffiti artist. So all I'm doing is writing all day long. You write your name a million times on paper. So my penmanship got really good. I thought falling in love with writing. Right. I mean, but I was just writing destructively on walls and people's property and stuff like that. Right. So tagging. I mean, so every time I would then when I started getting into reading, I had a great memory, so I can remember chapters of books. I mean, stuff like that. And then I said, I'm gonna write a book, so I'm gonna start typing it up. I'm gonna write it down first. When I started writing, you know what I'm saying, then it just started flowing. So me doing poetry, I mean, my memory was like that, so I can write a poem in 5 minutes. I mean, I can write a rap in 5 minutes. So it was automatically already inside my head. So I understood that everything I was going to write is already here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So you sort of found the gift within yourself.
Yeah, the gift was in yourself.
And it manifested.
Yeah.
And take this, right? I be saying a lot of times, when you writing something, right? You almost doing it twice.
Yeah.
Because you got to take it from your head to the paper and then put it back in your head to memorize it.
Yeah. So what you're doing is you just manifesting what's inside of you. You know what I'm saying? Revealing is what you're feeling, right?
Okay.
So also, and what you're feeling is what you're healing. You know what I'm saying?
So you gotta reveal the heal.
Yeah, you gotta reveal the heal. Woo. So that was kind of my therapy when I was in jail. I started writing. Writing raps. Me and Grandmaster Nell, like I said, out back. Me and Nell was in jail together, and Birdie from Bird's Nest and Mike Elliott and all those guys. Come on, make a commercial for our magazine. Right. You know what I mean? I got into the writing and stuff like that more. Then I said, I'm gonna write some real stuff. I don't want to write no exaggerated lyrics or I hope to be. I'm gonna write some real stuff. So I started writing in my real life.
And that's what led me to poetry.
That's what led me to poetry, spoken word. You know what I mean? And therapy. You know what I'm saying? So that was my therapy right there. Wow. Me just expressing how I really felt. You know what I'm saying?
It was in-house therapy.
Yeah, in-house therapy. Yeah.
So that started in-house first, then to sidewalk therapy.
Yeah.
That's
murder.
It's good you said that.
It's murder.
My guy read me, man, because I was going right back to sidewalk therapy. Right? And I wanted
to come together like that.
Yeah, and I wanted to make mention of, that outreach and how pertinent and how important I believe that hands-on outreach is,
right? And
how I believe that a lot of us elders are negligent and somewhat blameworthy, right? When it comes to that. Yeah. Because we quick to huddle up and talk about, right? But I'm gonna bring a recent scenario about the young girl killed the scepter driver up north, 23, right? Her father came on social media because of course the family and her was under a bunch of scrutiny. And the father came to give a sort of disclaimer, right? And in this disclaimer, he was saying she wasn't raised like that the wrong way.
Right.
Let's start from there. Everybody, y'all quick to pass judgment. Y'all don't know us. She wasn't raised like that.
Right.
Right? And almost every one of you either has up-close experience with a family member of the sort that rears off of what you taught them, or you at least know somebody like that. A kid growing up, for whatever reason, they rear off. Most of the time, a lot of times they do, man. Some of them do.
Yeah.
And I don't, as an adult, I can't understand that psyche, right?
Mm-hmm.
But as a child myself, I did it myself.
Yeah.
Right.
Everything we did, we wasn't taught. My mama ain't teach me that stuff, man.
Right, exactly.
So
the streets do it, man.
So I say that to say, right?
The streets steal your innocence, I think, man.
Right. Mm-hmm. So I say that to say, you know, he was saying like, where's the help?
Yeah.
And you know, you quick to scrutinize, but the situation needs tending to. These youth, they running around with these traumas and all the stuff we talking about, and it's not getting attended to.
Yeah.
So that sidewalk therapy to me is major because, like I said, I've been doing sidewalk therapy for years, and I continue to do it. Right. And so I understand about that outreach, but I understand that, you know, the lack thereof contributes to the problem.
Yeah.
We need more of that. Is my highlighting point.
For sure.
So I commend you for that.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. And I think more so of the reason I got out there in the street. I mean, like I said, we've been doing this. I mean, I've been a barber for 18 years. You know, you doing barbershop therapy, you know, stuff like that. You're just seeing people in the street that know you and can get the support and help you need. So it's one day I just really just set up there. I was at Point Breeze and Dickinson at my man's shop, Brian's shop, selling books, selling my new book out, Taking Life Back. And then a couple of people was walking by, you know, and they stopped, and I talked to them about what the book is about, you know, helping them through their childish relations. A group of young boys came by, like 7 of them, going to the breakfast store. I stopped them, like, yo, what's up, y'all? What's up going on? Like, what's up? Oh, yeah. I said, let me ask y'all a question. What's challenging y'all today?
Ooh, that's how you cracked it.
Yeah. And it was like,
it's a good start.
They thought about
a hell of a starting point, man.
Yeah. Because what they're going on in the moment right now, because people think they don't care, especially black men.
Right.
I mean, but this is Black Men's Health Awareness Month too. But I think black men don't. Well, mostly black men, people don't care about how we feel or what we do. I mean, so especially young black boys.
Nobody catered to us.
Yeah, nobody catered to us. So especially young boys. So that's one question I can ask. And I was trying to figure out what's the right question to ask people to get them to stop. Because everybody's busy. They moving here and here, going to work, going to lunch, whatever it is. And I say, if I ask you, you know, can I talk to you for a minute? They're like, no, let me try to tell me something. We going. Same way I would be. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm going to move. So if I say that, can I ask you a question? You know, they're paused because now people are willing to help. No matter who you are. I don't care if you're a thug on the street. You know what I mean? I'm willing to help you for a second. You know what I mean? So not really realizing the help is for you.
People be
not for me.
For that sort of interaction. And very seldom get it.
Very seldom get it, right? Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah. And when I said, what is challenging you today? And they said, damn, that's a good question. Most everybody come with that response. That's a good question. Because they don't think about it. Too busy in the world. You know, and the young boys like, it's challenged me just trying to stay alive.
That's it.
You know what I mean?
That's
Other one said just trying to stay out of jail.
That's it.
Other one said keep my homies alive. You know, so these are the challenges they're facing every day just walking up and down the street. The same challenges we face growing up. So I can relate to that really well. I mean, so I gave them some good advice, you know what I'm saying, about supporting of one another and doing something that's good and righteous. Like, y'all a team right here. You know what I'm saying? You can put all the energy together doing something negative. You can put all the energy together doing something positive too as well. It's the choice is yours. You know what I'm saying? But you're a product of your environment. So all you think you can do is what you see in that 4-block radius. You know what I'm saying? My world was big as a 4-block radius, 20th Street. Went from Mars to 20th and Federal. You know what I'm saying? That's all we really seen. So, therefore, understanding to expand that mind is to give them more knowledge. You know what I mean? Knowledge expands the mind. The more you know, the easier life gets. The less you know, the harder life going to be.
Check it out, right, my bad, but check it out, right. We are to the point, I'm going to take our time. I'm going to take my time right now, a little interjection, because I want to salute you and take my hat off to you, man. I appreciate and I'm proud of everything you're doing. Hearing this really intimate details, like some stuff you know, other stuff you said because I didn't know. But for that, when you sharing that, I want the people to know that I appreciate this, man to man.
That's right, brother.
I mean, that sidewalk therapy thing really is a thing that I think we all have done or have gotten some sidewalk therapy and have given some sidewalk therapy, you know. But getting it deliberate with the, how you ask the young boys, can I ask you something?
Yeah.
And got that with she said, the interaction, that's necessary.
It's necessary.
That's
You know, I agree.
And the camaraderie with she said is really us older guys that took the evaluation, took time to take that personal inventory of self and separate the negative or the negative from the positive and get that even balance and stop being that lean though, you know what I mean? You straighten all the way up balance. That's the mission that us older guys, all of us, will really proclaim to be a stand-up individual, come through the trenches and clean themselves up to a certain level and still trying to clean, maybe still trying to elevate. But we got enough elevation and now put the next one up with us.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that for that, that's why my hat off, man. I need that. I need to hear that.
I wanna pick your brain about this, right? Because this is a real issue in our inner cities, in our communities, in our neighborhoods, right? When I say our, I'm talking about us, right? To the point that it has become sort of epidemic, right? About the gang violence, right? From whatever perspective it come from the real gang type thing in other cities to the affiliation with blocks in our cities to, you know what I mean?
Squads.
However it go, the boroughs in New York, whatever.
Right.
What's common and consistent with them all is gang violence, and it's taken away a lot of our young black men, right? Whether penitentiary or death. And everybody's scratching their head on a resolve. Even me, I get stuck at a wall when it comes to talking to the youngins, trying to get them to to reason differently to the point where they start presenting some things about it that I have no answers for. For example, what are you going to tell a young man that say, when you say, man, leave it alone, do this, do that, do that, and the young man say, I'm out of here. They killed my brother. Or they killed my... I'm asking you, because I know you've approached this, what sort of potential remedies have you came upon, in your journey of, trying to fix and things like that?
Well, I think
this particular issue.
Yeah, I think we all have the answer to that, right? And the answer is simply self-love, right? Self-love. So even with
self-love,
even with a young man, right? For example, who lost his brother or cousin, father who loses a son, something of that nature, you're going to feel some kind of way about that, right? You're going to, because especially if your child ain't in the streets, ain't part of their life, and somebody take his son, like, damn, I'm gonna kill everybody. You know what I'm saying? But the logical sense of that is that's an emotional presence. The logical presence is like, all right, if I do that, then I'm in jail for the rest of my life. I mean, or my children who I have left over, they ain't gonna have a father too. So is that worth a sacrifice? So even with a young brother, it's like, all right, you want to go out there, you want to kill, you want to do this. Is it worth the sacrifice if you're going to jail for the rest of your life? Is it worth the sacrifice of you dying yourself or somebody else in your family getting killed? Is it worth that? If it's worth that to you, then that's something you got to think about.
Some people commit to that extent, Latif, to the point that they honestly believe it's worth it.
You know why? Because they don't love themselves.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like same thing in our mindset. If you would have told me that when I was in my thing, I wouldn't care. You know what I'm saying? I would have heard you, but I wouldn't care because my emotions precede my intellect. You know what I'm saying? One thing I learned when I was in jail, right? one thing I learned when I was in jail from a Bruce Willis movie. That's what I told you. I didn't read books, so kind of like information was being downloaded to me. I mean, by law. So I'm sitting there watching Die Hard 1 when it first came out on the block. I watched that whole movie. The movie was entertaining, but the most important thing I got out of that movie was the emotional intelligence. Off of one sentence, Bruce Willis was with Hans. You know, Hans was the terrorist, right? He's with Hans, and he's walking around. Hans acting like he was scared to death. He just, who are you? Like, who Bruce Willis? Like, and he figured out who Bruce Willis was. Bruce Willis didn't know who he was. So Bruce Willis acting all irrational. I mean, trying to find who Hans was. Right? He said, "Yo, man, you acting off emotions without using the benefit of your intellect." I was like, "Yo, that was heavy." You know what I'm saying? Like, that word right there stuck with me from that moment. Anything out of that movie, that's the one thing. He said, you working off emotion, not using the benefit of the intellect. I said, that's me right there. That was me. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't even thinking. I was just all emotion. All emotion. I mean, and
it's most of
us. And emotions blind your intellect.
You got compartmentalize each situation.
Yeah, I mean, you got to compartmentalize it. You got to also prioritize it too as well, and then you got to rationalize everything. What is the best thing for you to do in this moment? I'm saying we all have moments. You know what I'm saying?
And a quick second thought.
Yeah, quick second thought. Yeah, but see, if you don't have emotional intelligence, then you're gonna be overridden by your emotions because we live in an emotional environment. So we are everybody act up. You see emotion. I mean, so without the benefit of intellect, then there's no balance, and you're bound to make the bad decisions, the wrong decisions, like we have done. We made bad decisions, poor decisions off of what? Emotion.
How do you begin? Right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think you're gonna go back to where you was with the helping unravel.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But how do you begin to make a person understand and love themselves to that extent?
Yeah. The thing is really to make you love yourself is like for me when I found the greatest love of all inside me, right? You know, it's basically just knowing that I was worth it. I was worthy. You know what I'm saying? I was valued. You know what I'm saying? And I believe it came to a point where I was in my reflection and I was just thinking about the sun, the moon, the stars, the earth. I mean, the angels. You know, I was in my bag when I just reflected like we do. And I was like, I said, all this in creation, Allah had created for mankind. So all this created for us. Like we are the crown of creation. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that was a self-esteem booster to me, right? That was a self-esteem. Like, damn, I'm worthy of something because all this is here for me. How powerful the sun is, how strong the mountains are, how tall the tree is. All this is for me. I mean, for humanity. You know, so I was thinking like, damn. I said, damn, we are worthy. We are valued.
Part of it is educating yourself.
Knowledge is the key. Like Allah said in the Quran, it said, the more you know, the easier life gets. The less you know, the harder life will be. I mean, so the tool is to allow people to identify themselves. If you don't have no identity, you'll be anything the streets name you. You'll be anything the trauma names you. And that's how we see most of the people grew up. Like, oh, yo, that's Maserati Rick. Oh, that's Shotgun Harold. This and that. Now you got to live up to those images because you don't know who you are. So you become whatever the streets name you. And the streets is undefeated.
So when you get out of that box, right? You say you're from 20 from Mars and 20 from Federal, right? When you bust out of that box, and now you got ICY in Europe and over here, and you traveling here and you over here. We know wherever we go, we take us with us. And but each individual person is different. Not different in who they take, because they're taking themselves, but if we don't go to what you were saying, the growth and the development and the loving yourself, it's almost, it becomes, I don't know because I haven't had that experience yet. But now when you're speaking abroad on different sets, is that a different emotion that you go through? No, okay.
I mean, as far as the experiences, like being in those different settings, like being, for example, I'm at a conference with 600 millionaires, white people, Caucasian, right? So me being there, I'm going to show up as my true, authentic self.
Right.
The reason why I'm here because you like my true authentic self.
Right,
I mean,
exactly.
So I ain't gonna pretend to be somebody else. I'm gonna put it on a plate. Yeah, I was in jail. I was a murderer, and whoever don't like it just don't like it. Whoever who like it like it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. Right. Know why? Because exactly. No, and the reason why is because the story is a story of perseverance.
That's what I'm saying. The growth.
Yeah, it's perseverance.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So most people see your trial and tribulation and look at theirs like, damn, you went through that, and I'm complaining about this.
Right.
I mean, let's throw our problems down on the ground. Let's pick up somebody else's problems. I mean, you might pick up some problem with the person with no legs. I mean, like, no, I want my problems back. Give me. I mean, so the reality is, we don't really have problems. We have situations that we call problems.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They're not really problems. They're circumstances and situations that we must manage ourselves through. They become a problem. When it becomes a problem, then it becomes a place where you stop.
You're stuck right there.
You're stuck right there. You know what I'm saying? But when you become rationale, using your rationale, the best thing that Allah has given us is the ability to reason. It's rationale. So our tool is rationale. Use your reasoning, right? 1 + 1 = 2. Footprints in the sand means somebody walked through. You know what I'm saying? So all these different things.
Everybody with a sound, pubescent mind is responsible and accountable for that rationale.
Exactly. They're accountable for that.
The only ones the pins is lifted off of.
As a Majnun.
You know what I mean? That's it.
As a Majnun.
But see, but what happens to the one that don't have that critical thinking?
You got to develop that.
Okay.
You got to develop that because you got a functional state of mind. You can have critical thinking. It's just you're thinking critically, but you're just thinking the opposite way, living backwards. Most of our people are living backwards.
That's the unbalanced
again. Yeah. Most of us are living backwards because we've been taught to live in a backward society. Our society is backwards. Everything we glorify, we glamorize, and everything else, it's to our demise.
Wow.
It's to our demise. It's for our destruction. But we glorify that. You know what I'm saying? Our worth is in a car or some jewelry or some money.
Putting the proper things in perspective.
And what
there you go.
What about this mindset too, though, right? The flip side of that coin is that the things that are good for us, we ignore.
Yeah.
We don't want no parts of it.
Right.
That's
the backwards living.
Psyche
that's the backwards living.
See what I'm saying?
That's the backwards living. You know what I'm saying?
That's why it's hard to
Because they make the things so bad for us attractive, man.
No, right.
That's part of the trial.
Things that's bad for us is very, very attractive.
Yeah.
You understand? As far as, I'm going to go back as far as this. I'm a young boy, fat young boy, don't know nothing, want to play ball in the street, doing it. Then I see somebody that come through in a nice, shiny, I'm trying to think of my era, nice, shiny Eldorado, bright yellow joint, pretty, but the rims spinning, the BBS is on it, they spinning, and I'm 9, 10 years old. He get out the car, he talk this shit, I'm watching now. He got my full attention. My whole thing is not no copycat stuff, but damn, I see myself hopping out of something hot, but I don't got no, at that time, I don't got no route or no understanding of how I'm going to go about getting these things other than my way I thought was the street. And I think a lot of young guys get that same thing from what they seeing out there and not getting that. Because a lot of us come from single parent homes, mom got a boyfriend, all that same trauma stuff. I mean, and then mom go to work and you home alone, you by yourself, you sneak outside. You supposed to be in the house till she going from work, you outside doing your 1, 2. And you see all the older guys above you, you might be 13, you see a guy 19, 20, and they shooting they stuff and you peeping, you hearing all the negative stuff. I think that's the catch. Right there, we can catch them kids at around age 12 and 13 right there, I think we got a chance at them. What do you think?
No, man, if you catch them there, you got to keep catching them.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because, if you're going to start at the age of 6 and 7, 8, 9 years old, there's influences all your life. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to have to, like a mentor is somebody who connect with this person throughout their life. It ain't like from you 6 until you 10. No, it's from you 6 to you're a grown man. You got your own children. You know You know what I mean? So if you catch them at their age and then let them go, then they're gonna be influenced by at the age of 14.
The influence don't stop.
The influence don't stop. Don't stop. I mean, until they get the cognitive skills. Now you don't develop cognitive skills until you're 25 years old. I mean, your brain don't fully, your medulla fully develop until you're 25 years old.
And even at that point, influence don't stop. But you have more tools to fight, to be able to discern.
Right. And if you, I mean, and it's not even that age, right? Because you could be 30 years old and still make some dumb mistakes.
Right. Exactly.
Right. So it's all about your level of knowledge and understanding. Right. There's knowledge and there's understanding, and knowledge and understanding produces something called wisdom. Right. As pairs, like Allah created everything in pairs. Knowledge and understanding create wisdom. So knowledge is awareness, right? You may be aware, you may have knowledge, you know what I'm saying, but that don't mean you understand what you're carrying. You know what I'm saying? So understand, overstand, understand is the key to knowledge. And once you have that, applying knowledge in a proper perspective, in a proper place, in a proper time, that is the wisdom. You know what I'm saying? Because I can do two things. You know what I'm saying? I can come here one day, give a talk, come here the next day, give a talk, but it'll be totally different. I can sit down and get up, I go sit down again and sit up again, it's gonna be totally different.
Wow.
There's nothing that occurs twice in the same realm, you know what I'm saying? So with everything that we're doing, it's like every moment counts. So every moment, it gotta be a thinkable moment.
That's even like saying, we was talking about this earlier, me and Shake was talking about, even with identical twins.
Yeah.
It's the difference.
Yeah, it's definitely different.
It's very unique, slight.
Yeah.
But there's
it's a big difference. It's just that we can't see it with our eyes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We just see it on a surface scale. Surface scale, yeah. But no, on the core it's not. It's totally different. Yeah, the core is different.
I wanna, cause for the sake of time and everything, right? To close out, but I wanna say this here. I wanna get this off, right? A couple things. So all these is directed towards you. One thing is, with all your outreach and your helping the traumatized and stuff like that, and you've been at it for a long time. By ratio, how many lives do you think you've touched and affected in a positive way?
Well, like I said, I started mentoring in prison at 21 years old. When I started getting my life together, came home. I started going to the neighborhood schools, also mentoring people in barbershops, going to the prisons. I did a school tour around tri-state area, probably Atlantic City to Reading, PA to Erie, PA. Got a TED Talk out on YouTube. Check the TED Talk out too, how to become the best version of yourself. I got a documentary on Amazon Prime called Behind the Bullet. Okay. I have 2 books out right now, I See Why. Innocent Youth, and also Taking Life Back. That's another book out there too.
Tell me about the FUCK now.
I got you. And then we got the PD Live classes, and I've been doing classes all over, and then also traveling around the country, speaking in different conferences and stuff like that. So you could say about 500 to 1 million people are touching and influence. Yeah, it's still working.
It's important that y'all tap into. He just ran a Rolodex of things he got going on.
Yeah.
Where can they find you at, and how can they tap into you on a personal level to get this help? Because this is needed. Our community need people like you in the worst way, bro.
Yeah, definitely. So I encourage you guys, especially if you're going through certain things in your life, or if you're trying to elevate. You may not be going through nothing, you're just trying to elevate to another level. I encourage you to seek the knowledge, seek the information. Continue to study. Continue to study. Be a student of knowledge. Right. When it comes to everything, religion, life in general. You can find me in my platform. I do a free class Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9. If I come on 7, I'm tired, I probably come on 7:30. But I'll be there, God willing. I do a free personal development class. Free personal development class on my Instagram page, Latif, Latif _MUHSIN. Muhsin means the subtle and the doer of good. So I try to live up to my name. Basically, you can find me there. You can find me on my website. Go to my website, Latif Little. You can check out all the work I'm doing on there. You can email me, DM me, book me there too as well. If you want to book for a one-on-one session, you can come on Instagram, and I do one-on-one sessions. I also do group sessions. I do relationship sessions too as well. I facilitate meetings with companies and corporations when it comes to this emotional intelligence piece, because mental illness is on a high rise now, especially after post-COVID. So you can find me on those platforms, and basically you get the help you really need, or you can see help from somebody else if you need that. You know.
And where actually can they find your books?
Okay, my book ICY is on Amazon. It's an Amazon book, so you can get it from there. My other book here is Take Your Life the Fuck Back, FUC, acronym for Finding Your Core Self. Yeah, right, here you go, right here.
Core self.
Yeah.
Get you one, please.
Yes, this book right here.
Come with like a tutorial, got like a question, a Q&A thing. You gotta show that you learned something.
Yeah.
A journal at the end. This is a really heavy book, man.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm gonna tap all the way in.
These are tools that, a lot of times they don't teach us in our community. They don't teach us about emotional intelligence. They don't teach us about the human system. They don't teach you how your mind works and to elevate yourself. So all in that book right there, I created it for those who may not want to come in front of me and talk about their issues. They may be ashamed, or they might think I'm gonna hold it against them. Or spread it out, whatever they're going to think. But this is the way you can get the book. You can do the self-coaching yourself. Because you're your best coach in reality. You're your best coach. Mm-hmm. Once you get armed with the information and knowledge and the tools that you got to gather,
85%.
85%.
15%.
It's the book, the teachers, It's you versus you constantly, all day. That's the challenge. You versus you. Your new self versus your old self. Right. The only thing you're in competition with is your old self. There's nobody better than you but the person that's embedded in you. Right? Mm-hmm. So you get there. There's nobody better than you except the person that's embedded in you. You're your own unique self. And as you finish unmummifying yourself, right, unwrapping yourself from all the trauma and the struggles and the influence of your environment, you can really tap into your core self, which is the true nature of you. Your gifts, your talents, your greatness that Allah has blessed you with, that God has blessed you with, right? And then you can unwrap His gift.
That sounds like
that's the jewel.
The happiness, man.
That's exactly. The jewel, y'all. So dig the jewel, right? From what I got from that, the jewel I got from that is the pure pearl lies at the core of your being. Yeah. And when you find your core, you will eventually bump into the pearl, the diamond jewelry that's the core of you. You will bring it out of you. And what my man doing, I hope everybody can do eventually, spread that off to 1 million other people. We can have this self-awareness from sidewalk therapy. You understand? And we all can grow. And hopefully we can stop all this nut stuff that's going on out here, man.
And where can they find, you got some events going on, stuff like that?
Oh yeah, I got the conference coming up. Exactly, the free conference on November 25th this month. We have a conference at 2308 Snyder Avenue in the Grand Yesha Ballroom right in South Philadelphia. We are having a nice amount of speakers from all over the city, people who are influencing the city and the community, who are doing some real work. So I want to put them on stage, with us, so we can all share this information, valuable information, talking about emotional intelligence, talking about the human system, talking about universal laws, talking about the pregnancy of black women are dying 3 times the amount of white women in the hospitals because of the simple fact of racial discrimination in hospitals.
Black women can take the pain and all that.
Yeah, exactly. Or they don't treat them well. So a lot of our women go through that, especially if you have daughters right now. You want to make sure they're aware of these things in the hospitals.
So that's going to be what date?
That's going to be 25th of November, this month. Right, at 10 o'clock to 3.
23rd and Snyder, right?
23rd Snyder, yeah. Okay. 2308 Snyder Avenue.
Listen, man, it's been very refreshing, very enlightening, very uplifting, and it was a pleasure having you, man.
Thank you, bro.
Pleasure having you.
Definitely need.
That's okay.
Look forward to another one, because we got to do this again, man.
For sure.
Because the community need this kind of medicine, man.
Yeah, for sure.
This she the jeweler, man.
Bobby Khan.
Signing off.
Have a bet.
All right.
Yeah. Far as cases, got a few pending. Gotta play safe and elude the stool pigeons. In case of altercation, got a few henchmen coming with all guns blazing. They got some screws missing. Came from the basement and made it to the kitchen. Moving rulers away from the school district. Turn a hot 100 into a cool million. In case you guys wondering, while I move different.